see you.
Nice seeing you too.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here today.
You're so pretty, right?
Yeah, we just have to meet studios. It's awesome.
Ready for today?
All right.
See you on the other side. Oh, we got it. Hey audience, it's your girl Jovanna and welcome to Scoop 101 here at First. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. I know March is almost end of it's the last day. And as you know, March is, known as National Women's Day. So today we're going to do a little bit something different. So I brought my friend Ashley Keller here by, so she's going to discuss about her further life in radio before she started doing her business called Little Black Business Book in downtown Bridgeport at Beehive. Hi Ashley, how are you doing?
I'm well, Jovanna. Good to see you. I'm glad to
Great
be
seeing you
here.
too. Thank you for being here. I know you did radio for 10 years. How was your experience?
It was fantastic. It was probably one of the best experiences I ever could have had in a career, especially in my 20s. I worked for an alternative rock radio station out of Providence, Rhode Island, 95.5 WBRU FM, and I got to work with students and a lot of professionals, and we were, one of the top stations in the market, so it was an awesome, awesome experience.
Okay, cool. What was your current duties there on radio?
So I did a couple different things. I started out in promotions, and I was their promotion sales coordinator. So I actually executed all the promotions and events that the radio station held, which were free concerts and beer promotions and all really cool things we did in the community. And then I moved more into the sales side of things, and I was able to sell radio advertising to local businesses and also worked on sponsorship development campaigns. So we did a free summer concert series that would have over 10,000 attendees every Thursday night in downtown Providence, and I sold in sponsors like the WBRU Dunkin' Donuts Summer Concert Series, Coors Light, some beer companies were there, vehicle promotional companies, so it was a lot of what I did the last 5 years at the radio station.
A lot of great brands you've worked with. That's very cool. Before we get to your whole your whole story, leading to the Little Black Business Book, let's just talk about a little bit of your background in radio. So I have a few questions for you. So,
Sure.
During your time in radio, what would you define the job of a radio personality?
Well, it is a big job. I mean, our radio station had over 250,000 listeners that we reached each week. So you have a lot of ears on you, and you're a very big influence, I think, in the community, especially when you are a strong powerhouse station like we were. So, your opinion really matters, and people are listening, and they want to know, what you think. They get super excited. They want to call in. They want to debate. But, I think there's a lot of social etiquette that has to go with the radio DJ, again, because I do think, our station, at least, it was listeners of all ages. It was, older people that listened with their kids. It was young kids, and everybody's really influenced, I think, with media and media personalities. So I think it's a big job for sure.
Good. Do you think radio changed over time versus the kids now versus when you was 13 years old, 14?
The radio DJ personalities?
Yes.
I do, I yes and no. When I was younger, Howard Stern was really big, and he was on mainstream radio. So, that was always really edgy and cutting edge, and I think radio DJs have always been definitely the most personalities to take the most risks. So I think overall our culture has gotten a little bit more risque and risky than it was. I think Madonna was like the cutting edge back, in the 80s when I was younger. And I look at some of the stuff that like now Nicki Minaj and some of the people that are younger are doing now, which are much, much more risque, I think, than what someone like Madonna did back in the 80s. So I do think that your personalities and your DJs are rolling with those times and have to stay up with the icons that are out there now and kind of be on their same wavelength.
And during the radio station that you work for, were there different types of people outside of Providence, like, for example, Philly, New York, Boston, Chicago, other cities?
Yeah, so we actually really looked up to K-Rock out of New York at the time. We are an independent radio station, so we weren't affiliated with any of the big conglomerate stations. We were an independent, so there weren't a lot of people like us out in the market. So we had the natural, nice ability to kind of be cutting edge, and we did break a lot of bands first, and we were kind of a leader in the radio industry for the entire country. So yes, we kind of modeled some stuff after what other stations played, but we really played a lot of music first. So that was a really awesome part of being at the radio station, because we would have bands that were just on the rise come in and play private acoustic sessions with us and stuff, and then blow up huge 6 months later. And I was like, oh, I already met them, But there are some really great stations, but BRU was an independent, so it was very different than commercial radio.
Gotcha.
Tends to be, yeah.
So you say you've been in radio for 10 years, and you just did your business for Little Black Business Book for over 2 years. What made you want to transition from being a radio host to an actual, your own boss?
Yeah. So I was in nonprofit radio. My radio station that I worked with was affiliated with Brown University, and we did a lot with a lot of nonprofits in the Providence area, and we supported them with marketing for their events, and we gave them radio ads to promote their walks and charity events. And somehow I got voted to always sit on the board for the event committee as the radio rep. And I just saw a big need for it. I have a background in event planning. I went to school for sports event entertainment management and fell into radio, but I saw this real need, and I wanted to get back to my roots. Event planning is truly what I wanted to always do, and radio gave that to me. I did a lot of events, a lot of promotions, and if you're in radio, you know how much it's driven by promotions. But I was ready for a change, and we moved out of Providence and moved to be closer to family, and I thought now or never. I could either go back into radio or give it a try, and it's been a really big success, and I'm glad I stuck it out, for sure.
It's your girl, Jovanna. Thank you for tuning in to Scoop 101 here at First. Thank you.